Yo, what it is? Back again. I just wanted to make a short video to basically tell how you should structure a deck for each character, some sort of basic guidelines to go by individually. So I'm going to start with top left. Decker is an order growth, and she's a caster support, or support caster, if you will. Basically means she's good at stunning, locking down her opponents, and her ability to reach out pretty far. Her auto attack is going to be good, so your end goal is going to be that cooldown reduction. You definitely know you're going to want cooldown reduction in with her. You're going to want some defense, so things like Venom Shell, which add armor and energy damage, are going to be really good. You can add 1 armor, 2 energy damage on each of those. Perfect with a Satori Cloak, things like that. And basically just add on as much tankiness as you can, if you will, without making her into a tank. So being able to support by shredding that armor is what she's going to want to do. It's perfect since she's an order. Feng Mao is an order of Fury, and he's all about getting in your face and keeping you from going anywhere. Once he's there, he's on you, and you're basically going to die. Now, there's ways that you can not die and all that, but that's his goal. So he's going to want to hit you fast and hard. So he's got things like, I've got to just go all the way up. These 2-cost cards, which you're going to want to use to give him that early lead in putting on cards that are cost less, gaining attack speed, so he can hit you faster and really utilize that reach of his staff and everything. Your end goal is going to be being really fast and really strong. You've got a shield in there, so you're not going to worry about taking damage too much. You're maybe going to put on something like an Injured Rage to keep you stronger if you get low on health. But just basically hitting as fast as you can and as hard as you can is his goal. Making sure that you can't get away no matter how hard you try. Gadget's another support caster, all about utilizing her abilities faster and faster. So she's going to need a lot of cooldown reduction and a lot of mana. She's got good things like Quantum Casing and Aetherweave Mesh that she can put on to give her that cooldown reduction and some added tankiness. She can put on a Hydro Burster to turn all her mana that she's going to use into damage, and that's going to be the big thing you're going to want to focus on in your mid to late game, is turning all that mana that you've been using into your basic attack buff. Same with Gideon, you're going to want to do that. He does have some benefits from corruption, like he can go into the shadow pool, which is going to be a good thing for him. But you're going to want to put on a lot of cooldown reduction and a lot of mana. Probably the same style of stuff as Gadget would put on. So the Aetherweave Mesh, the Quantum Casing, the Hydro Burster, things like that. Greystone is a really, really, really good tank laner. So you're going to want to focus on the Satori Cloak and anything that will add defense to him. Since he's already got that passive defense, you're going to want to bump that a bit and then bump up his energy damage reduction, that energy armor, and then turn all that into attack with the attack. You're going to shred the armor with the Satori Cloak, and then you're going to put attack with the Stone of Salvation, things like that. You can put attack speed as well, so that he's hitting harder or faster and faster, shredding more and more armor as he goes. But that's going to be your thing. Make him a tank. Make him shred that armor. Really good to support in that way as well. Grimax is a ranger. you're going to want to beef up his basic attack. He does have some really nice skills, so if you put on energy damage, or excuse me, mana, as well as energy damage, then you're going to want a Hydro Burster to turn that mana into that extra damage. Hydro Burster isn't really needed on him though. Quantum Casing though, and Aetherwave Mesh are still good for him, give him that extra survivability. Attack speed is what you're going to want to focus on, and things like being able to disappear into the Shadow Plane, because he has that really good ultimate that can track you down. Your allies are not going to know where he came from if he's disappearing into the Shadow Plane after. Same with you. If you disappear into the Shadow Lane right after using that and killing somebody, the enemy's not going to know where you went. It gives you a chance to get away. You can chase people into the jungle if need be, and still have 3 seconds to, reposition yourself into a good spot. Grux. Grux is all about getting in, hitting fast, fighting it out, tooth and nail. So what does he need? He needs things like the bleed damage and the Drink the Spirits especially, and anything basically that ups his bleed damage. He's got one that gives him attack speed and armor, and along with that, you're going to get some bleed damage out of it on when you get hit with basic attacks. Bleed stacks actually on your opponent. I have no idea where that card just went. But anyways, when you activate it, it's inactive, and when you activate it, bleed stacks on any basic hit. There it is. For 6 seconds, when hit by a basic attack, apply a bleed stack to attacker. He's going to want to hit hard and fast, so you're going to be putting on more and more damage. If you put on Thunder Cleave, if you have that, that's going to be able to deal all your damage out in an AoE. So you're swinging, you're pushing your damage out, you're drinking in all that life from anything you kill, and you're making everything around you bleed. That's what you're going to want to focus on, the bleed damage and hitting fast and hard. Even put in some life sustain on, things if you need be. If you don't have the Drink the Spirits, any life steal that you can to keep him healthy. Howitzer's another caster, functions kind of like a support. He's really good because his bombs on his auto attack shoots out in a wide spread, his little missile. So you're going to want to shoot that faster, put on some attack speed, and then couple that attack speed with cooldown reduction and mana. And then you're going to turn all that mana with Hydro Burster into energy damage. Aegean Scorch, Shadow Plane, just like Grimex would. He's got Fury, so he's going to be able to use some of those smaller costing cards effectively. Things like Micro Nuke for your first card that you want to really upgrade. He can do the Drink the Spirits too on his turret. He's going to be killing a lot. You're going to want to pump him full of mana no matter what you do. And cooldown reduction. And then couple that with anything left, energy damage, because he can still throw his Molotovs even when he's using his ultimate or anything else. Kallari is your assassin. She does not need to take a hit ever. If she takes a hit, that's pretty much game for her. So your best bet is to be adding on Drink the Spirits, but basically anything that causes you to shred armor and attack really fast. Shred armor, attack really fast, and attack with a purpose. So hit them hard, hit them fast. Chimera he's not the hardest hitter, but he's going to stay in the fight longer than Grux if he can. Growth is a really good affinity for letting him do that with the Mad Spore Sash and other things that give him lifesteal. Just because he has a passive of lifesteal does not mean you can't add on to that with lifesteal, life regen, health regen. Not lifesteal, health regen. And just because he has the passive health regen does not mean you can't add on that with the Mad Spore Sash or the Chieftain's Crown, anything that will give you that added bump in health regen. And then you can add on the Fury cards to get that real fast attack and that hard hitting along with it. Lieutenant Bellica is a sorceress that's going to steal your mana and use it against you. So give her mana. Give her mana, give her the Hydroverser. She can even shred armor. If you decide to put on things like Quantum Casing and Aetherweave Mesh, you can put on a Satori Cloak and a Hydroverser, and then pump the rest of her with mana. You're shredding armor with your basic attack. You're tanking shots a little bit better, and all of your mana that you're gaining and keeping is being turned into your auto attack, so you can run people down. Murdoch's another ranger. He's definitely going to want to focus on his auto attack, so basically just shots, energy damage. He can even benefit from Aetherweave Mesh and Quantum Casing, keep him in the fight a little bit longer, so a Sparrow or a Grex don't come up and totally rip him to shreds. He does have Fury, so he can use his abilities more often, which he does have two really good abilities. One is a push off that actually, if you don't click it a second time, will act as a shield for you, mitigating some damage. And then he's got a widespread buckshot that will shred armor and rip through people. So putting on the Aetherweave Mesh and the Quantum Casing to be able to use those a bit faster is really good. And then you can focus on his auto attack with the rest of your cards, pumping damage into it, even a little bit of lifesteal if you need. But he really doesn't really need it too much. Muriel, just like Decker, but she's got shields, so you're going to want to tank up with her. Use that Satori Cloak to shred armor, and then keep yourself shielded. And shields on top of the armor that you're putting on top of shredding your enemy's armor. That's basically what you want to focus on. Narbash is a physical caster support, tank support. So he's going to be tanking shots, and the way he's going to be tanking shots is not by armor, but by health regen. You're going to stack on more health regen on Narbash than anybody knows what to do with. And you're going to get hit for 50 and immediately get 50 back. That's what your plan is. And then you're going to couple that with actual armor here and there to shred armor, things like that. Narbash is one I really want to talk about for a second. I call him the Grand Aura. This is my build for him. Basically anything that's a passive aura I put on him, so adding health regen to allies, because they're going to be expecting that health regen, and not only from your ability, but you can put it on in things like Circlet of Health. Satori Cloak gives you that passive aura of energy shredding, armor shredding. You got the passive damage here from the Madspore Sash plus more armor. Add on Mending Bloom, which gives you the ability to get back mana for you and your allies for 14 seconds. You can up yours and their mana regen, which is really, really helpful. So you want to focus on auras, anything that can benefit, because you're the support. They expect you to be supporting in the area that you are, be it by adding extra damage or extra support, health regen, mana regen. Rampage is the ultimate jungler. When he gets in the jungle, that's it. He tanks up with that health regen. You're going to add more on it. You're going to add some attack speed, things like that. And basically you're going to run down your opponent and outlast them. You're going to want to stay in the jungle. You're going to want to pop in and out of the jungle. So you're going to want things that help you to pop in and out of the jungle. More health regen for when you're out of the jungle, etc. And some good attack speed and attack damage. Richter is another tank support, but not in the way that Narbash is. He can really do some damage, but he's like Decker in locking down. So he's going to want the ability to use his abilities more, so that Aetherweave Mesh, that Quantum Casing, I know those are so good cards. And you can even pump energy damage into him and then turn it into damage with that Hydroverser, and really just keep your opponents silenced, keep them You're going to keep them under that aura of damage that he's got from his abilities. And then you can even throw in a Shadow Plane, the card, to really just disappear into the Shadow Plane. And after you kill somebody, that Necro Veil to go in, finish somebody off, and then disappear so they don't know where you're at. Because you've got that hook, you can pull them back. You know, everybody's in a team fight, you pulled somebody off, you killed them, and then you disappeared. Sevarog. Sevarog is a tank. A tank that comes in and just destroys. You're going to want to put on some cooldown reduction, put on some tank items. You can add tank items that actually benefit from damage and damage mitigation. And then stuff like being able to disappear into the Shadow Plane, or being able to have extra lifesteal or life grant, things like that. You're going to want to not only gain that health that you're getting from those stacks, but keep that health. Sparrow is all about attacking, and attacking hard. So she's got the hail of arrows you're going to throw up, and then you're going to hit with the basic attack. So you're going to be trying to pump as much damage into that basic attack as you can. Things like Bounty Stalker, cards that really give her that added edge is what you're going to want to focus on. Spiked Bone Plate and Thorned Greenweave, so that she's not so vulnerable. Splinter Bark Vest to shred armor, and really you're going to want to hit hard and fast. So anything that gives her attack and speed of attack, with also giving her utility that she doesn't have. So being able to damage things around her, being able to tank a couple of shots, being able to deal her damage out in an area around her, or even speed. Just giving her the ability to run if need be. You're really going to want to focus on pumping in that utility without sacrificing any bit of attack or attack speed anywhere. Steel's another tank, and you're going to want to tank up with him in the same way you would with Greystone, and then shred armor. He's got it a bit easier with Quantum Casing and Aetherweave Meshing, because those two cards can give him the ability to use his abilities more. So you can rain down with your ultimates, or even put up shields, the two that he has, a whole lot faster with those. And then you can turn all that into damage, all that armor you're putting up with the Satori Cloak, shredding the armor, and then the Stone of Salvation. The Fae is a really good caster support, but more caster than support, so you're going to want to focus on Hydroverser, basically just beefing her up with mana and cooldown reduction and turning that all into damage. Pretty simple. And then Twin Blast. Twin Blast is all about speed, so pumping with speed of attack, cooldown reduction, and basically anything like that. Use as little costing cards as you can, so that he's just faster, faster, faster. And then damage. Damage anywhere you can. Any bit of damage, lifesteal if you like. And just make sure he hits hard and hits hard fast. So that's basically it. Those are all the characters that are in the game so far. Good way to use them. Good strategy for deck building. As always, like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, don't be shy.